Our final speaker this evening is a man whose passion and commitment for many years has been central in developing these awards into the prestigious event they've now become. Please welcome to the stage Neil Armstrong, Chairman of Fastflow Group.
Thank you, Thomas. Good evening, everyone. This is the final throw. Dinner is just around the corner, so don't panic. We're almost there. And those of you with the patience and philanthropic zeal to have listened to me for the last 4 years will probably know what's coming next. We are here because we have a collective conscience. We care desperately about the fundamental inequalities in society. We want every human being on this planet to have access to clean water, adequate food supply, and a roof over their heads. Well, at least I hope we all do. And if not, I admire the lengths that you'll go to for a party on a Monday night. But tonight, I'm going to focus on having a rant about the environment. And I'm going to say that things have to change yet again. But somehow, this year is different. Perhaps because this is the year the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change announced that the world has just 12 years to get global warming in check before we reach a massive tipping point. With extreme heat and poverty blighting the lives of millions, getting it in check means cutting 45% of carbon pollution by 2030 and getting it down to zero by 2050. Now, that's not going to stop global warming. It'll simply keep temperature rises below 1.5 degrees, which could expose 50% less of the population to water stress than a rise of just 2 degrees. Maybe it is because this is the year that plastic officially made it into our daily diet. It's no longer just an eyesore in the sea. It's no longer just something that ruins our diving holidays. Traces of plastic have recently been found in our guts. Now, it doesn't get much more real than that. Or is it because this is the year that Prince Charles turned 70? Now, it wasn't long ago that he was ridiculed for his views on organic farming and the importance of green belt and green ideas. He is now regarded as a visionary who saw all of this coming long before many of us. Or indeed, is it because this was the year of Liz Bonnan's BBC documentary, Drowning in Plastic, which captured the public imagination, showing the full horror of rivers doubling up as rubbish dumps and animals choking on man-made waste. Whatever the reasons, things are changing, and I'm sure I'm not alone in sensing that society is beginning not just to watch aghast, but to actually do something. I recently went to Waitrose and I ordered a coffee to take away. I was asked in return for my cup. It turned out that they no longer provided cardboard cups. My irritation lasted about 5 seconds before realizing this is real progress. In a local cafe, one of my kids was refused a plastic straw. More progress. Increasingly, we are putting the environment higher up the agenda. And that's reflected in some of the incredible films that we are here to celebrate this evening. I've been gripped by so many of the entries in so many ways, from the clarity and common sense of the way land management and tree planting can suck the carbon from the air, to the creative and delicious ways we can enjoy plant-based meat, and the extraordinary transformation of Vietnamese fishermen and their communities into experts teaching water sports and climate change, survival skills, inspiring one and all, and providing templates for unified change. Media coverage is rising in conjunction. There is serious momentum being generated in the press, which may be something for which we should thank President Trump, as it's a fail-safe way to oppose him without being drawn into American politics. But although this feels like a turning point, and although the noise is building, the problem is becoming increasingly urgent. Not so long ago, we would talk about climate change as something that would affect future generations. Then we started to be a little bit more specific and to mention it in relation to our grandchildren. Then it was our children. Now, this is all very emotive stuff, particularly if you have children. But I'm pretty sure this year feels different because it was the year this became about us and our lifetimes. Coastlines will disappear in 12 years. Now, that's real. And if it doesn't lead to real change, we are in serious trouble. This is immediate. And although we do our bit as best we can, it's not going to stop unless we also engage in some urgent lobbying. This has to turn from a secondary to a primary consideration. Now, just imagine if all the money that we've thrown at Brexit had been invested into environmental projects. And I know this is a sensitive current topic. I promise you that would have been far more beneficial to all of us. The fact that it hasn't is a damning indictment on humanity. Our politicians are faced with the timeless catch-22. They could save the world by creating a plan that focuses on the long term. But their re-election requires policies that provide short-term economic gain. Our role is to do what we can at home and at work, and to bang the environmental drum so loudly that it can no longer be pushed back to tomorrow. Tomorrow was once another day. And as these films highlight so brilliantly, for millions around the world, that is no longer something we can take for granted. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Great speech. So tonight you've seen clips of all the shortlisted films entered into this year's awards. But if you'd like to see all the film entries in full, please do go to the TVE Global Sustainability Film Awards website. And now, on behalf of TVE, I'd like once again to congratulate all tonight's worthy winners and thank everyone who's helped make the 2018 Global Sustainability Film Awards such a success. All our film entrants, our sponsors, partners, supporters, and volunteers. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of this wonderful evening.
We keep hearing people talking about saving our planet. This isn't about saving our planet, this is about saving humanity. And if we don't bring this high up the agenda of governments and society, then unfortunately humanity will not survive. So it's relevant to everybody on this planet. When you look at some of the documentaries that are coming out and some of the intergovernmental panels that are bringing out various studies and statistics, the issues are becoming really stark, and they're becoming more about current generations rather than future generations. So before we used to talk about grandchildren and future generations, now it's about us actually, because coastlines will start disappearing in 12 years, and if we don't start doing something now, not in the future, not leave it to future generations, then unfortunately we're in a perilous position as humanity. I think they're becoming more aware. Not wanting to bring politics into this, but I think certain politicians around the world are not helping the matter by playing it down for political gain. However, I do think people are starting to listen. I think film, for example, is playing a huge role in bringing it to people's attention through social media, through television, etc. So I think definitely it is coming up the agenda on people's minds and their thoughts, but it needs to, because, as I said, we're in a perilous position and we need to act now, collectively. I'm a father, I've got 2 young children, and I think it doesn't get more personal than that. You know, I want to try as a member of society to try and leave some sort of legacy for my kids and grandkids, that they have a world that's healthy and is going to be a good, healthy place to live. So it doesn't get more personal than that.